Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about a comment that was left on a previous video. And sorry, I can't find the comment at this moment, so I'm not sure what video it's on. But I do want to address the comment. And the person that made this comment, I thank you for it. And sorry for not remembering where the comment is at. But your point was well made, and it's an important thing to discuss. And something that should be discussed on an ongoing basis. Like a good percentage of things we talk about here. And that's being married or involved with someone that has either a narcissistic family, or was married to or involved in a long-term relationship with a narcissist. Now the person that made the comment mentioned how her husband was married to a narcissist. And how it's really done a number on her husband. And if I'm understanding the comment correctly, how this aftermath and damage that was done to her husband is also tough on her. And these are very valid points to understand and work through and revisit often. Because that's a problem many of the narcissistic abuse survivors have. Especially if we grew up in a narcissistically abusive home. And then to add to it, we were once married to a narcissist. And if we had children with this person, then things are even more complicated. And what this can do is place undue stress on the relationship this narcissistic abuse survivor is having with this new person. Here's an example taking one section of what we are talking about. Let's say this narcissistic abuse survivor hasn't been married to anyone yet. Nor have they had any children. But they may have had a few relationships with narcissists in the past that thankfully haven't resulted in legal entanglements. And this person meets a new person they are dating and getting serious with. Someone that has a relatively normal family. This relationship between these two people can still be stressed out. To the point it might cause a breakup if they aren't careful. Because all of the basic things the person that came from the normal home has come to expect isn't there in this relationship. Such as getting to know the family of the person they are dating. Or their friends. It's like they are dating a person without a life. When this person that has a normal family is always used to all of these normal interactions. And they feel like something is missing. It's almost like they feel bored of the relationship. Because they feel like the narcissistic abuse survivor is missing those key life components we in society deem to be normal family life. And this is why many of us narcissistic abuse survivors have a hard time hanging on to what might be good relationships. Now one part of the puzzle is like what I've talked about before. Looking at ourselves and doing the self-work on negative behaviors we picked up in our home of origin. But even when we seem to have a good handle on these problems and we are making good life successes, having a relationship with someone that comes from a good home can be a bit strange for both parties if they let it be strange. And I say this because with proper understanding, I think a relationship like this can work. But like I said, there needs to be proper understanding of the problem so the problem can be worked through. Now before I tackle the issues the person that comes from the healthy home faces, I want to tackle the issue of the person that is the narcissistic abuse survivor. Because besides doing weird things in my prior inexperienced days, I also faced this very problem slightly before meeting Susie a few times. And a couple of times after. So it's a feeling I'm very well versed in understanding. And I'm just going to come right out and say it. We feel like little orphan Annie or something. We feel like we stick out like a sore thumb. It's terrible to go to a normal home for a holiday dinner. With everyone looking at you like you are the orphan in the room. The parents or brothers or sisters behind the scenes are talking to the person you're dating. Asking them are they sure they want to be involved with you. Someone that can't offer them anything. Or so they say. Are you sure you want to be with James? He doesn't have a family. You're not going to be able to experience this fun time or that fun time if you're with someone like James, you know. And though we are all winners here. Because we've made it this far in fixing ourselves and our situations. But this kind of thing makes one feel like a world-class loser. And it's a feeling we've felt since we were children. We were always feeling like we didn't belong and we were looked upon as diseased or something. I remember some of the children's parents from my school as a child, needling me with questions, just to find out from their own curiosity how screwed up my home life was. Then when you're an adult you're getting needled with the same questions. I will tell you, it sucks to not be able to give good answers. True answers. Answers you can be proud of. And feeling good enough to say, yes, you should meet my mother. She's a wonderful lady. We are very close. I was never able to say that. And you could tell how I stammered around such questions. There was something wrong. I didn't say anything bad, but you could tell I was just making excuses as to why I didn't want to bring her around. Now that being said, narcissism is more and more of a problem we have information on. And when I say narcissism, I'm talking about the real narcissistic abuse we faced. Not the Hollywood version of someone looking at themselves all day, but real narcissistic abuse. And if someone cares for you, and they take an interest in learning about your problem. And in reality, I think telling someone that doesn't know about narcissism is a mistake, as many have mentioned. However, if you are in a serious relationship with someone, and you know it needs to be talked about, even if you are good at explaining it, just put on some videos of your favorite person or people that explain things that hit home for your particular problem. Let them see several people on YouTube and hear their stories. Then say, this is what I'm dealing with regarding my family. I have no or limited contact, and the reason why is because of all you heard discussed in the videos you watched. Now if this person chooses to be with you, they are choosing to understand there might be a few challenges along the way. Even though you are going to do your best to minimize things. But if they can't deal with the fact that you might not have good answers regarding your family if their family asks you, and you don't have family events to go to or bring them to, then they might not be right for you. If they want to continue on with the relationship, they need to understand it's up to them to be the buffer between you and their family. It's not up to you to make their parents understand. It's up to them. As long as you are doing your part to keep things as normal as possible. You shouldn't have to sit in a room answering questions about your life just to see how screwed up you are. Now to add to this, regardless if things go smooth with this narcissistic abuse survivor, no matter how hard he or she tries, might have a bout or two of depression. Because they long for the love of a parent they never got and they will never get. No matter if this person says, I've dealt with it, and I'm good. It creeps back up. Even if they don't know why they are feeling depressed. That's usually the reason. Now, as for me, I'm normally an upbeat guy. Like I mentioned before, I love speaking to people and shaking hands majority of the time. But there are times when I get into a funk. As I also did many years ago. And for me all I wanted was someone to say, James, you know I love you, right? Whatever you're feeling today, James, it's okay. I've got your back. And knowing. And this is the key part. They won't take that love away from me. Knowing they won't love me today. And leave me tomorrow because my life sucks. Narcissistic abuse survivors oftentimes feel like their lives are a burden to the person we are with. We feel ashamed we can't provide a normal life for the normal person we are with. We feel ashamed. And if this person married a narcissist and has entanglements as a result, the shame is still the same. We think, oh man, how much are they going to be able to take from my screwed up life? They are going to leave. And I can't blame them. Because I have a life of a loser. That's the mindset. And that just feeds the depression. And the person that is normal, that comes from the healthy family, they are put on the hot seat from their family and friends as to why this person they are with has such a screwed up life. And they're always pressured to leave. And that feeling I understand. Now if you are married to someone that was married to a narcissist, Use technology if you can to prove certain things that can work in your mate's favor. The more structure you have with parenting plans and things of this nature, the less interaction you will need to have with the toxic ex-wife or husband. If you can, keep things to emails. 1. So there's a record. And 2. So you don't have to have toxic interactions with such an individual. Because just like narcissistic parents, narcissistic exes act up in hopes it will be too much for you to take. So you, the normal person, will just get up and leave. The key to this, especially for the healthy person, is understanding. You didn't grow up like this. It doesn't make sense. And the reason why is it's not supposed to. That's how the narcissist keeps their victim isolated. So just like the victim or survivor is learning, you need to keep learning too. So it not only makes sense, but it makes a lot of sense. So when problems come up, you can say, okay, this is why. And with more understanding, you are more able to put together a plan. It's okay to sit down with the person you're with and say, we need to put together a short-term plan of how to deal with your ex, and a long-term one as well, so we can get it to the point where we barely have to talk to them. Remember, narcissists think they are immune to rules and at times will slip up. And when they do, be ready to document. Just like narcissists build files on us, you start building a file on them. Especially if there are legal entanglements. Is it a slam dunk things will go in your favor? No. But when narcissists are caught in one lie after another in court, even if the judge is a jerk, they oftentimes quickly turn against the narcissist because judges hate to be lied to, because it undermines their authority. So put together a plan that will put you both in a place where dealing with the toxic ex is minimal. When dealing with toxic parents, if you as the normal person has researched and read all kinds of material on narcissistic abuse, and you really feel like you understand it, and you want your parents to meet this person, and you yourself are close to your parents, slowly introduce them to what narcissistic abuse is about through the same material that helped you understand it. Now if it's family you aren't close to or you barely see, there's no need. But if it's a mother or father that is active in your life, get them up to speed on what this problem is. And assure them, the person you are with is a good person. They just ended up with crappy parents. And it's not their fault. And that you don't want he or she to be made to feel awkward because of this with strange questions. And for them to be judged on the content of their character. Not that they have no family. Now that being said, do I suggest you tell a new friend or a friend in general about narcissism or your life? Nope. It's usually a mistake. But if you are dating someone new for a good while, it's going to come up. And I wouldn't even explain it myself to this person. I would have them watch a video or two of someone else. Because no matter how good you are at explaining things, when you try to tell someone about such things, it sounds crazy. However, when someone can watch video after video of several people saying the same things, it's easier to digest and to be taken as credible. And opens the floor where you can start to tell your story. And if things get real serious and they have a mother or father that's a close part of their life, it's their responsibility to get them up to speed on this part of things. So this problem no longer has to be a problem. To the person that left the comment, I applaud you for looking into such problems that are affecting your husband. This shows you truly care about his life, and the life you have with him. And you must know the difficult times you have as a result is designed by the narcissist to be a wedge between you two. Don't let it happen. Work through it and see the bigger picture. That being said, I would like to hear others' experiences regarding this. Because the more we talk about these things, the more we learn. And the more we learn, the more we grow. And the more we grow, the less power these narcissists have over our lives. But with that being said, we must continue to pray for wisdom. And we still must continue to pray for strength. We still must continue to pray for courage. And we still must continue to be good to ourselves. Thanks for viewing, everyone. I do hope you found this video helpful. And I hope your day and evening is blessed.